Hello there. This video will be a guide to get all 10 artifacts on the Fjordur map as of Steam version 348, and I'll be covering all the artifacts from easiest to hardest to get using a Desmodus, a Diplocaulus, an Otter, and wearing a full suit of ghillie armor, which will help me cover this video much faster, and it will allow me to go through each of the caves and show you what are all the dangers present there without using any admin commands. Now, I have already covered all of the artifacts before in my previous videos, where I have additionally given a full cave tour along with the cave ruin locations. So with that being said, let us begin. Starting off with the first artifact, which is the artifact of the hunter, located at this place on the map. And let me show you where we are currently at this location. So the cave that we are looking for is called the Drengerheimer cave, and it has two entrances. The one that you are going to look for is the entrance located over here. This entrance will be covered by a rock, so you need to use a pick or some other way to destroy it. Once destroyed, you have to be careful about Purlovias that might dismount you. Like that. So if you are fast and if you are touching the ceiling, then you might actually be able to avoid the Purlovias, like I have. And thus, we have gotten our artifact over here at this coordinate 7.3 by 32.9. By using an Otter, you can actually carry multiple artifacts at the same time, and it should also give you all of the hypothermal and hyperthermal insulation you need for every single cave of Fjordur. If you are going full sprint, there is good chance that the Purlovias will not be able to trap you. So let me now talk to you about the second artifact. So the next artifact is the artifact of the immune. It is found in the volcanic region Midgard, close to the end of the Wyvern Trench. We are currently located over here at this part of the map, and we are intentionally doing this part at night because we want to avoid as much combat as possible. And at night, the Desmodus gains the ability to cloak fully from all kinds of dangers. And the danger that we're talking about are the lurking Desmodus that are found near the entrance of the chamber over here. As you can see, two of them. The stamina drain of the Desmodus is pretty low, so you can easily take a wild average Desmodus and still get the job done. And here is the artifact at 88.7 by 86.2. We're going to pop this guy in over here. Cloak ourselves. And then hightail it out of here without any problems. Note that the Desmodus cloak only works at night, and if it is 5 o'clock and you try to cloak it out, then your cloak will actually go away. And thus we have gotten the second artifact, and I'll see you in the next one. So the third artifact is the artifact of the Skylord. It is found in the autumn region over here at the northern end of the map. And to locate the artifact cave, which is called the frozen fortress over there, you need to first locate these two sets of waterfalls and the next two sets of waterfalls over there, and in the middle of it towards the north we're going to get this path, and there is this large rock, and from the rock we get this path, and which leads us to the artifact cave over there. Now this cave is pretty cold, so I would suggest that you carry some kind of an Otter or really good level of fur armor. So the cave is at 8 by 23.7. Instead of taking the long route over there, you're going to take the short route over here, avoiding the Purlovias. So the cave has all of the creatures that are located in the island snow cave, like yetis, polar bears, Purlovias, and direwolves. And If you come over here, you get the artifact of the Skylord at this location. 7.3 by 27.9. Now this part of the cave, as you can see, is empty because I had recently done a cave run in which I had lured all of these things out to the bottom of the death floor over there, which is an instant death. And you have to be careful about this part, which contain Parlovias and Yetis, as they can dismount you and then easily kill you. And thus we have gotten the third artifact, and I will see you in the next one. So the next artifact is the artifact of the Devourer found in the Mariana Caverns. It is an underwater cave found at the very north of the map at this place, and you need to have either a suit of scuba gear or you need to have a Diplocaulus like I have, which is going to ensure this run will become very swift and very easy. So the artifact cave is actually found at the bottom of the ocean floor, and there were the two icebergs, the two icy rocks, and here is the artifact cave at 3.7 by 4.4. It is well lit, so you don't have to worry about visibility problems or fog. But the cave has Cnidaria and Electrophorus, as you call jellyfish and eels, and they might present a big problem if you are using a Diplocaulus like me. My Diplocaulus is a wild one without any high levels, but I have leveled it exclusively in oxygen, which means it is really fast, plus it gives me all of the oxygen that I need. And here is the artifact of the Devourer located at the end of the chamber at 8.7 by 13.6, and I am just going to ignore the fact that I have an Electrophorus at my tail, which will not be able to chase me once I have started speeding onto it. In fact, an oxygen leveled Diplocaulus can outrun even an Alpha Megalodon without any problems. You can see it is going pretty fast. And you can use the spacebar and C key to vertically go up and down just like a Tapehara or a Desmodus. And here is the artifact chamber coordinates again, just for your convenience. And every time you're going to look for this artifact, you're going to just locate these two rocks over here, and thus we have found out the fourth artifact, and I am going to see you in the next artifact, so stay tuned. So the next artifact is the artifact of the brute, which is found in a cave on the swamp biome. Let me show you where we are at the map. So we are here at 50 by 13.4, and we have the blue obelisk towards our back, we have the autumn region towards our front, and we have the artifact cave just below over there with that rock jutting up out there. Because this is the swamp cave of the Fjordur map, you need to equip yourself with either a full suit of hazard gear or a gas mask. This particular cave also spawns your Desmoduses, hence it is always better to do this cave at night, where you are going to take advantage of your own Desmodus's cloaking ability. So we are going to head straight from the main entrance, avoiding everything through our cloak. I have already covered this cave once before, in which I showed you also the side entrance and you get around 5 runes in this cave, so you can check that video out. But for the purpose of this video, I will only show you the simplest, easiest and most direct run to get the artifact, which is here. Let me show you the coordinates. We are at 47.6 by 8.0. We are going to and as you can see, invisibility only works at night, because we have just made it past the night, which means we will get aggroed onto by the Desmodus, and hopefully we should not face too much trouble with them. Hopefully. So yeah, that is how you get the artifact of the brute, and I'll be seeing you in the next artifact. So the next artifact is the artifact of the strong. It is found in a cave very close to the green obelisk at the very northern end of the map over here. So to locate the cave, you need to first locate the green obelisk, and from there these twin waterfalls, and from there you're going to head close to the smaller waterfalls. And just beside the smaller waterfall, you're going to find a redwood tree trunk which has been uprooted, and the cave entrance is just beyond that at 10 by 84.4. So this cave, called the Bear Caverns, has mostly insects like Meganeuros, Titanomyrmers, Arthroplurus, bats, araneos and scorpions, and they are spawning at a very high level. So I would advise you to not do any combat. If you want to farm a lot of organic polymers, you can head through this path over there, because that is the place where you get those giant beehives. But we're going to go and get the artifact quickly. In this part of the cave, you're actually going to find Thylacoleus. But the Thylacoleus will be spawning at normal level, so that should not be too much of a problem. And there you go. There is the artifact of the strong. And okay, at 18.8 by 83.8, let me drop my Otter and put the artifacts there. And just as easily as we went, we're going to easily go out. We're not going to use the second way or the second part that I had shown you in the more thorough individual artifact of the strong video, because that way is more dangerous and it will lead you to do some combat because of how narrow the region is. As I mentioned to you, this cave is also the best place to farm organic polymers if you go there, but you will have to be careful about all of the different insects. I could even advise you to take a high level frog, because you can farm a ton of cementing paste from all these insects. And because cementing pastes, the quantity depends upon the health of the target creature, you're going to get a lot, because the Meganeuros and Titanomyrmers are spawning at a very high level, around level 300 to 400 on my map. So yeah, that is it for this artifact, and I'll see you in the next artifact. Okay, so the next two artifacts are found in the same cave, which is the artifacts for the Pack and Clever, found in the Molten Caverns on that cave over there. To actually locate the cave, you need to come to this place on the map at 23 by 57.7. So the cave is actually found at the border of the autumn region over there and the foresty mountain part over there. We have the green obelisk there, and to actually locate the cave, you need to first find out this lake. From the lake, we have a path that is going up, and just beside the top of the path, you're going to find that cave. Now, if I were to do this cave at night, I can avoid most but not all of the combat. So I'm going to be doing this at day, and I'll not be utilizing the cloaking ability of my Desmodus. So the cave is pretty hot and requires parkour, so you have to be mindful about and carry some amount of ghillie armor or grappling hooks. Now the cave has two separate chambers. The left chamber will give you access to the artifact of the pack, and this cave is crawling with bats and Arthropodas. Hence, it is very important that you actually try to kill these things and not just rely on the cloaking ability of your Desmodus, because the moment you dismount your Desmodus, you are actually going to take damage from the bats as well as the Arthropodas that are there. You can see we have a snake over there, and the artifact is at 15.4 by 60.8. Let's first kill these guys first. While people say that combat, it is better not to do combat, but sometimes you cannot avoid it, like in this case. So the coast is clear. This is the artifact location, and we have another artifact. Now we are going to get the other artifact. So the other artifact is found in the chamber to the right. It's actually much more easier to get if you are using a Desmodus, and you can actually use your cloaking ability to successfully evade combat completely. Alright. As you can see, the creatures are actually spawning at a significantly higher level. Coast is clear. It's at 18.1 by 65.6. And now we can safely exit this cave. If you want, you can also take a Shadow Mane or a Rock Drake, because there are three creatures that can effectively cloak on on Ark, and all three of these happen to be on Fjordur at the same time, which means you can easily use the cloaking ability and the parkour ability of those other two creatures to also get these two artifacts. And now I'm going to be letting you see the other artifact. So the second last artifact on the Fjordur map is the artifact of the Cunning, which is found in an underwater cave located here. And let me give you a better visual representation of where we are. So we have the Mir Islands over here, the volcanic regions over there, and the artifact cave can be actually found in that part on the water. You can see those crystals glowing inside the water. The artifact cave is located there. Now, unlike all of the other artifact videos, this time I'm going to be showing you not with my Desmodus or Diplocaulus, but with an Andrewsarchus. The reason I'm going to be using an Andrewsarchus is very easy. If you are riding an Andrewsarchus with the Andrewsarchus saddle, you do not need to have any kind of oxygen. So, as you can see, I do not have any oxygen with me. And what you're going to do is, from that place on the island, you're going to walk straight, or you're going to swim straight, head over to these crystals over here, and then you're going to spot these kelp forests. Just beside the kelp forest, you are going to get the entrance to the artifact cave. For this cave, the Andrewsarchus is a pretty easy mount to actually use, because the Andrewsarchus will allow you to do combat which you cannot avoid in this cave, plus it will allow you to not use any oxygen, so you don't need any scuba gear, plus if you are unable to avoid combat in the water, you should still be able to do that without any problem. And there is a small part in the cave where you're going to require some way of killing the creatures below. So even for that, this is important. Now for the moment, I have not decided to attack them. But eventually, I'm going to have to do combat. Here, you are going to require the Andrewsarchus's ability to actually kill the Arthropleuras like this. So that is another reason why I took Andrewsarchus. Because it has a turret on top, you can use it to safely kill the Arthropleuras from range without taking self damage if you're going to use the bite attack. And as far as I know, even if the Arthropleura were to spit at you with its acid attack, because you are enclosed inside the Andrewsarchus saddle, you will not take any damage. It seems this guy has a lot of health. 580. Now, this part is slightly more difficult. You have to be very careful about it. Because let me even gamma this part up. And yes, gamma 5, because this part is very dark and you are going to encounter really high level creatures at this part. Now my Andrewsarchus is not leveled with melee. It was designed by me to ensure I can carry a lot of cargo on the different realms, and it is spec'd in weight, not in melee at all, so it doesn't do a lot of damage. Alright, so this entry part is clear. Now you can see I have also taken some rifle rounds with me. This is because we're going to have to aggro the creatures over here so they come to the main chamber and our Andrew can kill it. This part is important. You can see an Arthropleuda over there. You're going to let it come close to you. This is exactly why I told you to bring the Andrewsarchus. Because you cannot cryo, you have to uncryo and cryo this part. And these things over here can actually cause a bit of a problem. You can even take a rifle like I have, it will still do the same thing. Well, as you can see, it's too big. It's simply too big to actually fit this part. So you actually cannot cryo and uncryo it. So you will have to either kill these guys over here, like I am doing, or you're going to have to take a little bit of a gamble, which is what I'm going to show you. Over here. Now we are perfectly safe. These guys actually cannot fall in the lava. So there is our artifact. We show you the coordinate. It's at 73.6 by 72.8. And by now you would have noted that the Arthoclurus may have split a couple of times, but my armor did not take any damage. This is another benefit of using the Andrewsarchus with its saddle. You will not take any damage from their speed attacks once you are encased in their saddle. And one more thing to note is we are currently at night, which means these megalosauruses are actually awake. Let me show you what these megalosauruses are capable of. Mate boosted megalosauruses. Or I'm just going to avoid them. Why bother fighting if you can outrun them, right? So now I'm just going to have to find this thing over there. And by the way, bats can fly underneath the water. And alpha megalodons from outside the cave can actually uh, attack you even inside the cave like this. That is another reason why I did not use my Diplocaulus and went with a more combat focused mount like the Andrewsarchus. These guys, you won't even be dismounted if you are attacked by Nidaria like this one over here. These are all the reasons why I wanted to show you the Andrewsarchus for this. If you press the X key, then the Andrewsarchus, instead of swimming, will actually fall down on the floor. Let me show you. Like this. Water sinking, as it's called. You can actually run on the floor like this. Then you have to press the X key again for it to start swimming. And there you go. There is the 9th artifact, and I'll see you in the next artifact part. So the final artifact on Fjordur is the artifact of the Massive, found in the Labyrinth cave. The location of the labyrinth is here on the map, and we are situated very close to the blue obelisk, and we have the swamp biome island over there, and we are going to have the dragon terminal on that side over there, and our cave happens to have an underwater entrance just below the ocean over there. So at 71.7 by 1.0, we are going to head straight down and land on this platform. You're going to require either a suit of scuba gear or an Andrewsarchus like I have, or a Diplocaulus. Either of these three will prevent you from dying due to lack of oxygen. But the Diplocaulus is both fast and gives me unlimited oxygen. So it should be the ideal mount with which I'm going to show you the cave entrance, which happens to be at 71.8 by 2.4. Now this cave is the labyrinth. It has a lot of booby traps and you are going to require some amount of parkour as well as some use of grappling hooks if you are not careful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore this guy and head on straight up. And from this hole in the ground we're going to come to the main chamber. We turn up the gamma. This part shouldn't be this much empty. As you can see, just a snake, but this should be crawling with lots of bad guys. And it also has Desmodus, like the one chasing me before. Now this is the entrance of the labyrinth. We are going to head here. This tiny portion your Desmodus cannot fit, so you can uncryo it and then head on inside. None of the stairways will have any kind of booby traps, but you have to be careful about these dart traps over here, which launches darts from here, as well as the spike traps there. These dart traps, they will actually poison you and make you fall asleep, while the spike traps will give you a lot of damage, which might even mean instant death for you. Now, from the first turn, you are going to turn left, and then you are going to turn right, and you are going to enter the first section of the puzzle. Now, I already know what this puzzle is, so I'm going to do green, yellow, purple, blue. In this video, I will give you the shortest and easiest possible run to the artifact, and I will not give you a tour of the cave. You can check out my earlier two videos in which I have done exactly that which I am telling right now. So from here, you have two paths, but you're going to take the left hand path. Cross this jump over here. Ignore these things because we don't need to know the colors anymore. I have already figured out the puzzle for you. Now, in this fork, you're going to turn left again. Follow the torch. Again, you have another fork, so go straight. Now for here, I would recommend that you either use a Desmodus or a Sinomacrops from the Lost Island. Grappling hooks do not work inside the labyrinth, so you are going to have to use climbing picks. Now for this part, in this part, you are going to turn towards the right. You have two options, either go left or right. Both of them are going to lead you to the final place of the puzzle. And let's just cryo this guy up. So the next puzzle will have green, purple, yellow, and blue will always be the last one. This is going to open. and you're going to get your artifact, which is at coordinate 76.4 by 8.4. And now we're going to pop the last artifact onto our order. From there, you're going to see this wall over here. Press the button and go out. Turn right. Again from here, past these branches, press the button. Then turn left. And you have safely made it past the labyrinth portion. Unlike me, you should always use, unlike the way I started this entry portion, you should always hug the lower walls so that Desmoduses which are clinging onto the walls do not get aggroed to you. I believe that other one of the advantages you have is you can actually lure these Arthroplurus into the water and they will stop attacking completely. Well, almost. Now it's a smooth sailing. And that is how you get all the 10 artifacts on the Fjordur map. If this helped you out in any way, please drop a like and subscribe, as even though I have completed the Fjordur map and beaten the Alpha Fenrir Sulfur, I still have a ton of videos still to go. So stay tuned and thank you for watching.